All right, guys. So basically what we're doing here, like I mentioned off the recording, is we're just doing a highlight. We're featuring different businesses, different entrepreneurs, different people in the sports business world on a weekly basis. We kicked this off last year with our NIL Summit. We did a feature on a startup in the basketball world last year. They were actually on Shark Tank. And we're going to keep it going this year. So I want you guys to kind of go around the room, introduce yourselves, and talk about what you're building. We can dive into the product and services here shortly as well.
What's up, y'all? My name's Arham. I'm a sophomore at Penn. I was studying finance and data science, and I'm currently on a gap semester. We're building V02. It's a social platform to connect athletes and fans through social tokens. We want it to become the new standard for how fans engage with athletes and how athletes monetize their name, image, and likeness.
I feel like you've said that before. That was like, right. That was like throw a dart down the middle, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in and out of like five pitches a day,
Yeah, I was gonna say that was like part investor, part elevator pitch, part hey, I just met an athlete type of thing. You had that really down.
A lot of practice goes into it.
So explain to me. So you guys, from start to finish, right? So you're about to launch here, March, let's say. I don't know exactly what day this is going to air, but let's just say early March, we're going to launch. How long has this been in the works? How did you come up with the concept, and how did you kind of craft it from start to finish?
Yeah, I actually wrote a paper about this a year ago for my entrepreneurship class, and for the record, I got to be on that paper. But yeah, that was I had a vision where athletes could initially sell off future shares of their income to fans. And over the summer, name, image, and likeness laws changed. And I realized it didn't make sense to give up future income streams. Instead, you could make it so that instead of having your career funded by a team or by a sponsor like Nike, Reebok, Adidas, you could isolate your most dedicated fans and have them almost monetize for you. And you could use that as a tool to facilitate engagement. So I started recruiting team members late last October. And since then, we've just been testing out the market, building out the product, learning a lot about crypto and a lot about the athlete space. And Arpan, I'm sure you'd love to jump in on this.
Yeah, so me and Arham actually knew each other since high school. We were both on the U.S. national debate team together. So we were friendly. And when he approached me, I was, I like the idea. I've been a sports fan since I was a kid, and it really sounded appealing to me. And we iterated on top of that, and we finally got to where we are today. Along the way, we recruited Alex and June, who are also part of the team. And yeah, it's just a nice kind of team going here. We have the chemistry and we have the skills. So we're excited to build something cool and really change what it means to, be a fan.
That's interesting. I didn't know you guys went to high school together on a debate team. Who's better at debating?
We didn't go to high school together. We were actually, I was East Coast, he was West Coast, but we were on the national team together. And that's where we knew each other from. As for who's better, obviously me. No, Arham was actually really good. Arham was really, really good. Yeah.
I think he froze too, so that was perfect timing. He didn't get the rebuttal.
Yeah, he can't answer the question.
Yeah, he's done. He's tapped
no time
out.
for rebuttal.
There you go. All right, so when we're talking, he bounced out. So we'll just keep jamming here for a second, and we can always clip this too if we need to.
Yeah. No,
so he said October. Is this October of 2021? So meaning like 3 months ago, or October of 2020? And we're back. You're muted though.
No, it was October of at this point. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that. My turn for my Wi-Fi to cut off.
Oh, good. He said that he won the debate. You froze, meaning you probably froze in real life as well. So you bounced out. You left the stage, tail between the legs, and then you bounced back here. So.
You know what? You can take some creative liberties. It's all good.
So
For the record,
you
I
just
gassed
jumped
you up
back on,
too.
and my question was, you mentioned October. Is this October as in like 3-4 months ago, or October of 2020 when you guys really started ramping this up?
This is October 3-4 months ago. So
okay.
Pretty recent. I think something about the crypto space in general is it moves really, really fast. Protocols get literally millions or billions of dollars of value in the span of a few weeks. And I think this is a really exciting time to be in crypto, because between when we started ideating in October and when we're about to launch now, the amount of just tools and infrastructure to get more consumers on board have increased exponentially. It's a really exciting time to be in the field.
Yeah. And are you guys, or had you been interested in crypto? Did you buy, do you own Bitcoin? Do you own other currencies? Where were you guys in as far as like your level of expertise, would you say, as far as crypto goes this past October? Because in your business plan, right, that was less crypto based and more about future earnings, right? I don't believe you had any crypto in there. So when did that become kind of the plug and play?
Yeah.
I had an interesting story in terms of my experience with crypto. Oh shit.
Yeah, I think
Arm, you
you're
wanna go?
getting jammed up there too.
Yeah, I'll jump in on this.
Sure.
So, for the income share agreement, there was a player in the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie, who was really inspiring in 2018. He made something called a professional athlete investment token, which did take a crypto data structure and use that for basically making bonds that were indexed to his career. I thought that was really cool. I understood that that was a security, and so that wasn't really something I could execute on as a student. So I put that in the back burner a little bit. I got into DeFi because there was a point last summer where you were just earning absurd yields on any crypto that you deposited. So that was when I started learning about platforms like Curve. I learned about the Olympus DAO, which gave absurd earnings for a little bit. Made some money doing it, held a little bit of crypto, and I was planning on actually just going and trading full time. And this idea came up, and I decided it was much more exciting to work on a company than it was to just shuffle around someone else's assets.
Cool. Did you you get your Wi-Fi working in there?
Yeah, I can hear y'all well. Your video is a little choppy. I did have an interesting story though regarding my story with crypto. So it was high school. I was a freshman. It was 2017, and it was just cool to be like into Bitcoin because I think the price was spiking. So I said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy some," and that's when I got in. So I got pretty early, and
What was the
one thing led
price?
to another. Ended up in college at a business. What was the price back then? I think it was around 25K,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah. So it was compared to now, it was pretty cheap. Yeah. I sold it after making like $1,000 of profit. I thought that was huge at the time, right? Anyway, one thing led to another. Also similar to Arham, went kind of down the trading path and worked at a crypto trading firm for a little bit. And they had me doing research on the fund, doing more research, and really saw the value prop of these tokens. And one thing led to another again, and I ended up as a developer. And I'm very excited to be building this.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's dive into V02. So we've been working 3-4 months, and I know you have to be basically around the clock here if you guys are getting ready to launch. So let's dive into the value prop of what V02 is. From my side, I've seen a handful of these types of communities, not necessarily what you guys are doing. You guys seem very unique, and I like what you guys are doing, and that's also another reason why we're, a couple of our athletes, full disclosure, a couple of our athletes are working with you as part of this launch. But talk to me about like why you decided to build it this way and why you thought it was the right value proposition.
Yeah.
Let's tag team this. So we help both athletes and fans to marketplace for both of them. You can start with how it helps fans, and maybe I can tackle athletes.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of interest in crypto in general. I think the success of platforms like Top Shot has demonstrated that. As a fan, I never really owned any moments on Top Shot because there was a very limited market to sell them. And I was always under the impression that these are JPEGs or MP3s or whatever. These are just videos of in-game footage. So when we were approaching this project, I really wanted to make a new type of asset class that would let fans almost stake into athletes. And then that when you own that, it would give you some real privileges beyond, just being able to play an exciting moment on loop. And so the utility for fans here is really, this gives you the ability to engage with an athlete, to show that you're a fan, you're part of their community, and you're helping them make decisions in a way that no product in the market currently addresses. So I just think it's more exciting than something like fantasy football or gambling, when instead of putting money into an account and like potentially getting a payout, you actually get to interact with the athlete, interact with other fans, and see your favorite athlete grow as time goes on.
Yeah, and I just think it's a sick concept that you can go on what touchdowns celebration someone should do, what skills to focus on. I think it really makes the fan experience more fun. But then on the athlete side of things, we do address a lot of pain points as well. So athletes and college athletes in particular, their main way to make an income is through leveraging their NIL and making partnerships with brands. So that's something that's reserved for, the top tier athletes. And we really want to open the door for that, make sure that athletes who all have this common asset of their fans, of their NIL, can sell it directly to fans. So we enable that by creating communities with fans and athletes. And now athletes are basically able to monetize that name, image, and likeness sustainably over time, and giving the value directly to the fans instead of relying on these brand partnerships. So it kind of helps in two ways, right? Like now athletes can focus on, their game and engage with their fans by basically giving them decision-making process and input instead of becoming social media influencers and focusing on photo shoots. Then on the secondary level, there are a lot of athletes, and especially women's athletes, I'd say, who don't get equitable attention, who don't get equitable NIL deals. Fans don't discriminate. Fans just buy the tokens of their favorite athletes. And because of that, we think we are leveling the playing field. We are showing how all athletes can tap into their NIL. And we really hope that, we can make a splash and level that playing field for all athletes.
That was good. It got a little choppy at the beginning, but you ran through, and I followed quite nicely. So I hope other people do. But just to recap, both of you basically the use case here. If I'm a fan, I basically can follow along the journey, but be a part of the journey of an athlete, Patreon-esque, but I can also sell that asset at a later date for potential more value, right? So I can talk to an athlete one-on-one or in a group, however the athlete wants from the back end. I can choose their merchandise for that week, or I can select what TD dance they're going to be doing, or whatever it is that the community aspect, the exclusivity back there is doing. But then I could also sell this as an asset if I wanted to later on down the road, if I'm a fan, right?
Exactly. And that concept of ownership creates some really exciting opportunities for athletes, because now your fans have actual incentive to go out and recruit more fans and increase the value of your token, and honestly just help you along your journey. And because there was never that asset that indexed to ownership in an athlete before, there was no reason to do that. So I'm really hoping that this gives athletes a new way to grow.
Yeah. And I think like the ability, like you guys have said, and clearly have built this for the, the athlete in mind, of like, I don't need to go out and do all these other deals. I want to build my own community in a unique way. But like you just touched on right there, the asset allows other people, instead of saying, hey, I don't want anyone else to have this, you want as many people. You want a lot of those people to go there because the asset's going to be more popular, and then your price is going to go up as well. So building those types of things, and the viralness of that seems smart the way you guys are building it. So I don't want to eat you guys too much because I know you were launching here shortly. So we'll wrap this up here shortly, but talk to me about, you guys launched, right? We're launching with a handful of athletes. You're going to collect the data. You're going to see what that looks like. And then you're going to keep steamrolling through. What does the next rest of the 6 to 12 months look like for you guys? Are you focusing on any other sports? Are you focusing on features? What do you guys look for in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah. I mean, the world of professional sports is wide open. And so we're starting with, these basketball athletes because we want to take advantage of March Madness. But in the long term, I see this as a huge value add for a lot of NCAA athletes. I also see this as a huge value add for Olympic athletes who honestly don't have any way to monetize their off season. My long-term vision is whether it's, the NBA, NFL, whatever, there's always room for engaging your fans and monetizing that. And so we want to create the token standard for the athletics industry. And so we'll just keep on grinding away till we get there.
Yeah, I think the Olympics is too. It's unfortunate that Winter Olympics just finished. Summer Olympics, you got a little bit of gap here, because I do think, obviously they need it in the off season, but they can't capitalize on all the hype right now, right? It would be a nice timing if this was, June of last year or whatnot, right before Summer Olympics.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, you make some, you win some, you lose some. I think right after the summer ends, college football season is going to start. That's going to be a huge opportunity for us. That might be the next step.
Yeah, and I think that you guys probably have a good gap there, right? You have enough runway to gather some data from March Madness and basketball. You got the summer to regroup, build some stuff, focus, and then get it running on football, start in the fall.
Yeah, it's all about just figuring out what the fans want. That's what launch is about.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. Anything else you guys want to touch on of what you're building, why you're building, or why you guys are different?
Arham, I've been cutting out a lot, but I will definitely want you to touch on why we're different. There are a few companies doing similar stuff in Europe. Yeah, Arham knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, social tokens aren't exactly a new concept, but I think the way that they've been structured in the past is always you're monetizing through the club or the team that owns the athlete. And I think that isn't the best incentive structure for two reasons. I think one, sports is really celebrity driven and people interact with the athlete, not the club. And second, I think if the athlete isn't making money off it, there's no incentive for them to meaningfully interact with their fans. So yes, there have been tremendously successful businesses, so rare, that have been created off of monetizing clubs and using their names. I don't think that this market is mature yet. And we're really trying to deliver value to the people that fans pay to see and pay to interact with. And yeah, we just hope the market takes to it.
Cool. No, I love it. I appreciate the time, guys. Good luck on the launch. Where can people follow your launch? I would imagine we have a Discord maybe you want to plug, or any other social media you guys want to plug it so people can follow the journey.
Yeah, check us out on Twitter at V02.fans. We have our Discord links up in there. If you're more crypto native, feel free to check out our white paper, and our website's live at V02.fans. So yeah, looking forward to having y'all on board.
Twitter handle is V02_fans. Sorry, just saying that.
We'll beep it out.
Awesome. Hey, cool. Appreciate your time, Tim. Sorry about the Wi-Fi connections, but I hope point came across.
Of course, guys. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see the launch and appreciate the time today.